Hi everybody, and welcome to the final video related to this lecture from April 7th. So I just want to close out by discussing what the analyst's role would be under each of these strategies, and I'll just end with pointing you to your in-class assignment that I'm going to have you complete for this week. Kind of very briefly, if we think about hotspots policing, as I noted, hotspots policing is effective when a microgeographic approach is taken. And so we don't think of entire neighborhoods at hotspots. And in fact, even when you look at neighborhoods which would be considered or classified as high crime, very often we find that even within those high crime neighborhoods, many streets in the neighborhood are going to have no crime occur at them at all. And so what this means is that we need crime analysts who are able to identify these micro hotspots. And as I said, this isn't something we've done just yet with geographic methods because we haven't started working with geographic information systems in this course. But it's something that we will learn, so it's an important skill that we'll eventually touch on in this class. And the same can be said for disorder policing. We want to be able to identify hotspots of both crime and disorder. What this means is that maybe an analyst is going to have to go out into the field and actually collect data on disorder. But again, using geographic methods to identify high crime and high disorder locations. In terms of focused deterrence, there's a couple of ways that an analyst is going to be helpful. On the one hand, they can help identify groups or individuals or gangs that are contributing to a violence problem in a jurisdiction. Now, so far in this course, we've been working with crime databases for the most part. However, as I mentioned at the beginning of the semester, there are a number of different types of databases that an analyst will work with, not just crime. One is an offender database, gang database, traffic accident database. So although we haven't worked with them yet, the skills that you've learned about in this course that relate to creating, managing, and extracting from databases can also be applied to these other databases that you'll eventually work with in this class and if you go on to a crime analysis career. In addition, just like we've talked about hotspots policing and disorder policing, the need to identify geographies that have high levels of crime. During focused deterrence interventions, one of the ways in which an analyst might prove useful is the ability to identify gang territories. So this will oftentimes require the merging of both crime analysis and criminal intelligence, but identifying and then being able to map out those gang territories can be useful not just for focused deterrence, but for a number of different reasons as well. So taken together, what this means is that we need to have analysts who are involved at the planning stages of just about any intervention or before any particular tactic is decided upon. Only if an analyst is involved at the front end are we going to have the information that's necessary in order to most effectively implement these strategies. In order to be involved at the planning stages and in order to be successful, it's imperative that an analyst have credibility within the organization. And so what this means is that as a crime analyst, you're going to need to not just know how to do the work and do it well, but how to effectively convey results to police officers and decision makers, but also to build relationships with these individuals. So it's not just an office job. It really does require that an analyst is well known and accepted within a police organization if they're going to be most effective. And again, I think this gets back to the need to be able to convey results effectively to people who are going to consume it and potentially use the results from analyses that you conduct. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'll end this lecture. I'll just note that your assignment this week is going to involve you watching a video of a call-in of a focused deterrence program that was implemented in Philadelphia back in 2013. As I said, just talking about what is involved in a call-in, I don't think it effectively conveys exactly what goes on. and the amount of planning that needs to go on prior to a focus deterrence intervention. So I want you to actually watch one. So I've given you a link in your assignment that's on Blackboard to a YouTube video. So what I'd like you to do is to watch that, and I've asked you to answer 5 questions. And so just make sure you're taking the time to view the entire video so that you can answer those questions effectively. And I'll just note that I'm looking for a couple of sentences here for each question. So about a paragraph I think would suffice. If you go over, that's fine, but make sure you're including as much information as you can. Right, so we had a bit of a snafu this week in terms of getting the videos up in time. I think those technology issues have been resolved, so we should be able to continue on hopefully without any snafus for the rest of the semester. So I do apologize for the technological difficulties. And one more thing before I close out. I'm going to send this to you in an email, but the exercise this week is exercise 7, not exercise 6, as I noted in the syllabus. That was an error on my part, so I fixed that and I put an updated syllabus on Blackboard. Right, so good luck with the in-class exercise, and I will see you next Tuesday.